Welcome to Socratic Stories, The Women Who Build. I'm Nicole Allos, founder of Socratic and Socratic Sidekick, and every week I sit down with a woman who's actively building something meaningful, designed to get the real story that doesn't really live in the polished LinkedIn post or edited podcast. And I'm so excited for all of you to meet today's guest, Francia Haces. She's a marketing and digital transformation executive with 25 years of experience in travel and hospitality. Today, through Haces Tech International, she's helping the travel and hospitality industry prepare for the AI-connected travel journey as AI changes how people discover, plan, and experience travel. She has led marketing for the Ministry of Tourism for the Dominican Republic in the Northeastern U.S. She's served as Senior Vice President of Marketing and Digital Transformation at Premier Worldwide Marketing, and built a reputation as one of the sharpest minds in multicultural marketing. And she's not done building. Through Haces Tech International, she's now bringing AI into everything that she knows about brands, audiences, and hospitality. Francia and I met through She Builds, Lovable's community for women building with AI, and we're both in the season 3 cohort. And I will tell you what struck me very early on. Here's someone with so much expertise who never once made anyone else in the group feel less than, even if, like myself, this tech was brand new to me. I'm still learning this world, and she has been nothing but supportive and generous and encouraging with me and everyone. And her energy is genuinely contagious. So you'll hear that in our time together. So Francia, welcome to the show. Question
Thank
number
you,
one,
Nicole.
what are you building?
Oh my God, that was such a beautiful introduction, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here for this opportunity
Of course.
and for making people that are building things shine through your podcast. I think I'm building a lot of things. However, my first focus in life right now is Haces Tech. I'm building Haces Tech from the ground up. It's a company that I founded and is to help travel and tourism companies and hospitality insert AI into what I call the connected customer journey. I spent like most of my life helping these type of businesses look at the connectedness of the optimization of the customer journey, whether it was acquiring customer up until how do we re-engage them to come back and interact with your brand again. So in the world of marketing, that will be, so keep your clients versus getting new ones. That path has changed. So the journey per se, as it is, as we know it, hasn't changed, but AI is part of it now. So what it did is that it slipped into the base, the foundation, and it created a level 0. So that level 0 starts with visibility. So most of the people call it visibility. I like to take it to the next step, that is recommendability. So being visible does not make you recommendable. So being recommendable does not necessarily make you bookable. Why is that important? Because this is about the business in the end. And if you are not in front of the eyeballs that matter, then the evolution of the entity identity is being affected. And what do I call the entity identity is that your name is being displayed in the places that people are actually looking for you. That shift is happening right now as we speak. And AI is playing a big part of it. So it doesn't matter that you're there if AI will not recommend you. And if it doesn't recommend you, there's no way for you to be bookable. Why is that important? And it's important even for people, not only for companies. It's because at the moment of booking you, if a machine cannot read you or cannot say, okay, this is the way that we can interact with her or with this company, then you're lost in the AI limbo. Or better yet, the ones that did get ready many years ago that had structured data ready for the machine to read it are winning the race. And what does it mean for small businesses like tour operators, small tour operators, independent hotel? boutique hotels, that they are
Mhm.
going to be invisible. So I call them the invisible majority. And invisible majority can be anyone, can be a dental office, can be a lawyer, because maybe a bigger one is being recommended, is the option to be booked. And your name, the money, you never see that money because that money goes to, let's say, in
Right.
case of travel, maybe big ones. Expedia, bookings of the world, they're ready. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that your name dilutes, your brand that you worked so hard to maintain starts getting diluted because they are the umbrella where you are represented. So this is what I'm building. The second part of this is called
Yeah.
As a Stake Ignite, and it taps exactly into all the steps of a customer journey. It's messy.
I love it. The messier the better here. And that's just how this part of the journey is, right? I would love, it was interesting when you talked about the fact that there's this invisible majority and that these bigger companies are winning out because they've started the game earlier. They have more money to throw at technology. That's just the name of the game. I'd be interested to hear about why that part of it feels
Yes,
so
thank you.
important to
That's
you.
a wonderful question. I watched travel evolve from traditional magazines and brochures into what it is today. My early career, I started working with American Airlines and then I went on to Sabre. At the time, it's a global distribution system. And that teaches you a lot. I've been fortunate enough to go from that to OTAs. So at the time, it was, for example, Travelocity. So Travelocity was created by Sabre. And then moving on to a country tourism board, Mexico, and then working with another OTA, working for a tourism board in a country like Dominican Republic, and then ultimately the hospitality. What that gave me was that people are looking for things, but the customer journey is always the same. What changes is where you find them.
Interesting.
And then the journey that you take them through. And that journey of excellence is what is going to make them come back. So it's like in life, everybody's going to tell the story as they live it. What are the elements that you are giving a guest, a client, to tell the story about how it went with you?
I love that. I love that perspective because when you were talking about how there are some of these smaller travel companies or hotels or restaurants and things like that, and I know restaurants aren't a part of what you're talking about, but just that whole piece, I wonder if travelers are being pulled through this funnel and are they being pulled through that funnel because it's a better experience, or are they being pulled through this funnel of these big companies just because of visibility? And I wonder how much that's changed the travel experience too. That, is it based on this is a great trip or great hotel, or is it based on who has more money? That makes sense. Like I'm kind of curious from your perspective, what you think travelers experience.
Yes, I
through
think
this
AI
shift.
is actually helping people find meaningful travel experiences. So the human side of it, the trust is very important. So when
Mm-hmm.
I, in the past, I used to say we sell dreams because you're ready to give me your money for something that hasn't even happened yet. You're hoping for the best.
Mm-hmm.
However, the mechanism
Yeah.
of selecting and choosing has changed over the years. And if I cannot identify that through reviews, through the trust that you build with your name, with your experiences, and I cannot support the human side of travel, there's not going to be a good takeaway, or it's not going to give me a signal that I can really trust you to give you my money. But that is going to become more evident as we progress with AI. Because right now I can picture anything in a review. I can say the hotel is 5 stars, but when you go there, I mean, the paper supports everything or a blog. But the reality is that we are in front of other technologies that are making it harder for you not to tell the truth on what a property or a service is. And AI is very good in creating patterns or identifying patterns. And this is what is going to give back to a person that is searching for an extraordinary experience, but also can hallucinate. And we all know that. So there's always that human in the loop that needs to be the curator of how I want to showcase. And at that time, technology is also progressing with a term that maybe, it doesn't mean anything for anybody, like MCPs. What is that? But that is making possible for you to create kind of let's say, a pool of your experiences that you offer and information about you where machines can go and look for. So we are in very interesting times where
That
you
makes
as
sense.
a business owner can actually influence what is going on with your business and making you be the choice, the experience of choice, but also it can be a whiplash if you are
Mhm.
not telling the truth.
Yeah, so that's so interesting. So now there's more information. It's more readily available. It's more connected, it sounds like, with other parts of the overall experience. So are you saying that ultimately the good experiences, those who are really delivering, are the ones that you think will
At the
ultimately
end of the
win
day,
in this case, based on your help, right? Based on what you're providing?
it will
Is
be
that
the
the
goal.
goal?
My dream would be like the industry leads this shift instead of reacting to it. My dream is
Hmm.
that as AI takes more relevance, because in many cases, we are in infancy and we see it every day. But we think
Hmm.
because we are surrounded by people that are within AI and we talk AI day in, day out, that everybody's at that level, and it isn't. It isn't. So
Right.
as AI takes more relevance, the searching, the comparing, the planning, people are free to do only what people can do. Is welcome guests, is create memorable experiences, and build genuine relationships. And at that time, since the amplification right now is more possible, so that will show. And to
Yeah,
me, that's a future worth building. Tourism for good, tourism for respect,
absolutely.
and services. I mean, tourism serves for everything. I come from a country that lives on
Yeah.
tourism.
Well, and
So the moment that we don't do it well, Dominican Republic, Mexico, it starts to show. Do we want that, or do we want to continue to build our industry? So if we want to continue to build our industry, we need to lead the shift.
yeah, absolutely. And um, I'm hearing a couple of different themes as well that, you talked about tourism for good. And I know we talked about that before we started the podcast of like how critical it is to have people have a worldview and different experiences. And so it just sounds like all the things you're doing are connecting things that I know you had mentioned are so important to you as well. So what have you learned so far that would be helpful for other people who are going on this AI journey or building something and they're at the
Yes, I'm
stage
in the
that you're at
messy
now?
part, and that's a wonderful question to answer because I don't want people to think like we come in public and we talk and that everything is fine and dandy in that we have everything ironed out. And I think that at this point in time, nobody has everything ironed out with AI. So what I've learned is AI isn't the hardest part. It's the change itself. People resisting the change in AI, they are trying to figure out where to begin confidently, knowing that it will work for them. So the biggest opportunity is not buying more technology, is not using more tools, is not using an LLM that, like is better than the other or what's the latest model. It's developing the leadership. It's getting leadership on board. It's the strategy and the confidence to use AI in ways that will create real value and impact revenue. Because I mean, it's so pretty to have AI in your business, but how is it impacting revenue? How is it impacting revenue to create better
Absolutely.
things for your customers?
Absolutely. And when you're talking about some of these smaller businesses too, there's, there's not that ability to just throw money at things that are pretty or interesting or oh, this might be something for the future. Sounds like you're bringing real value. And I know you've been really focusing on how can we take action? How can this provide economic opportunities and that type of thing, which is incredible. So the last question I always ask on the podcast is what are some asks of the community? If they're hearing this and all of this is really resonating with them, how can they support
I have
you
one
in your
simple
journey?
ask. Keep your mind and eyes open and be curious. Continue to play with AI. And from my side, what do I need besides sharing with me what you learn and what your needs for travel are, how you have used AI for any particular case, or what do you want to see, or how did you learn in a different way from a company, a travel company or a tourism company. I love to hear all those voices, and I love to hear all these experiences. Why? Because it helps me amplify, and I know this is a very used word, but amplification of the experiences of others will, as it does with the model, will help me and others like me building for travel understand what is the traveler really looking for, because I can develop a lot of things, but they are not actually in line with what you want to see as a customer happen in travel.
Yeah, that makes sense. So would you want them to reach out to your LinkedIn link, which we'll provide? Do you want to share the web address that people
Yes,
can find out a little bit more about what
that's
you're
like my
doing? What's the
main
best way to get in touch?
for socialization. I'm always
Okay.
open. I always answer. And also, if you have someone that has a small business, I have a diagnostic tool. That diagnostic tool is free. I'm not charging for it, because all I want to know is that you are being conscious of what's ahead, of what's happening. So if you scan your property, if you scan your business, it's AI reveal map. And this is why the name exists. Are you there? Are you even there? And if you're not, you need to start taking action now, because there's a window like 12 to 18 months where things are evolving and changing so fast all over, not only with me, with big companies, small companies. So everybody and their mother has a visibility tool now, but creating the awareness that you really need to understand where you're at. And if you need to make changes from now, that's the first step. That's level 0. So you can go and scan your property, airevealmap.com. Look for me in LinkedIn. I'm there. We can talk over what your needs are, not necessarily hiring me if you want to perfect, but not necessarily hiring me. But if you want to understand the results and where you should be versus where you're at today, I'm more than happy to do that. At the end of the day, this is my dream, that everybody understands where we're going as an industry and what is happening. And if you don't understand what is happening, I'm happy to sit down with you and have this conversation.
And I can attest to that. She's an amazing resource for sure. So what amazing ask. So reach out to her through LinkedIn, reach out to her through her tool, and we'll make sure to have all that information available to you. And we'd love to kind of revisit and see how things are going as well. So thank you so much for showing us what it looks like to continue to innovate and build after a career of success and bring obviously that wonderful energy of yours. I love all these opportunities that you shared to reinvent, look at things in a different way. So it's bringing everything you've learned into what you're building next. So if Francia's story resonated with you, connect with her, as I mentioned. And if you're a woman curious about building with AI or building anything, building a business, building a family, building a legacy, come find us at the web address below. Thank you so much and happy building, everyone.